First of all, the last quarter of last year, Taiwan performed much better than originally expected. Our export continued to grow for the 3 months of the last quarter, and the international demand for Taiwan's export items continue to remain strong. The demand for Taiwan's products, not only semiconductors, but also petrochemical, organic chemicals, or steel products and metal products, machineries, remain very strong.
As you mentioned, a lot of the growth is being driven by exporters, specifically semiconductors and raw materials and things like that. Does this mean that because these portions of the economy are doing so well that they're masking other parts of the economy that may not be doing quite as well?
According to our surveys among our manufacturer sectors, we do feel a sense of concern that's been growing in other sectors outside semiconductors. Their first concern comes from the fact that they have difficulty recruiting qualified workers to join because the expansion of semiconductors actually is a kind of taking away or becoming a magnet to attract qualified graduates. We also hear complaints from other sectors on the shortage of supply of, for example, construction materials or construction companies that is willing to work with non-semiconductor companies, because semiconductors tends to pay higher money and other providing better resources.
So despite all these rosy figures that we're getting from the government on unemployment and overall GDP growth, there are a few figures that aren't as good. Inflation keeps going up, especially in the last few quarters. Furlough numbers are still going up now and are fairly stubborn. So is this economic growth actually being felt by the average worker here in Taiwan?
Despite the fact that a lot of people are feeling a price increase in our daily lives, but the generalized figure growth rate is actually slower than many of the Western major countries. It is actually a good opportunity for Taiwan to actually increase our wages level. But if you look at the numbers, the wage growth rate is actually slower than the inflation rate. So I think the one key initiation is how can we keep the wage growth at the same level of the inflation rate. The second initiation is actually to make distribution of income more fair across the board among different segments of the society.